We've lost contact.
How long you fighting thunder? Why? It took a while, but finally we've received the attack order. We must reduce damage as much as possible. Good luck, Raiden.
I'm forwarding you the information. Please confirm before beginning your mission. Do you hear me, Raiden? We're still surveying the enemies, so please head straight to the scene.
There doesn't appear to be many enemies coming to the suburbs, but you can't be negligent. Remember, shoot them before they shoot you. Max speaking. I think that you're aware of it, but it's the first time to witness contamination of this level with these kinds of massive weapons. To be honest, I don't know what will happen, so be careful.
I'm sending you the information on the enemy. No contaminations from surface weapons have been confirmed in the area. This will be aerial combat, so please act as such. The 18th Mechanist Infantry are engaged in blocking the advancement of the enemy ships into metropolitan areas. It is unclear how long they can maintain the front line, so please hurry to the area. The speed of enemy destruction is perfect. Neither the plane nor the pilot has been damaged from the combat. We will be entering the metropolitan area very soon. The enemy in that area are being mopped up by the 2nd and 4th Panzer Divisions. Please quickly pass through it and aim for the target point.
Hold on. This is too much for the Defense Corps to handle on their own. Descend and pursue the destruction of the target.
Captain, is that really necessary? The citizens have all been evacuated, and most of the enemy weapons have been destroyed.
That may be so, but I'm sure the retreating people could do with a coffee break. It won't hurt to help out a little.
I'm getting a response on my radar. Numerous enemies have crossed the defense lines and invaded the metropolitan area.
You heard it. Sorry, but I'm gonna have to ask you to respond appropriately on site.
I'm getting a response on my radar. Numerous enemies have crossed the defense lines and invaded the metropolitan area. Enemy aircraft is flying between the skyscrapers. Please be careful.
Be careful, you say. Don't you have any better advice for me?
I believe it's the captain's role to give advice. Don't you have any advice for me?
Make sure you don't hit a building.
Enemy flight battleships are approaching. Good luck. There are vessels leaving from the ships. Exercise caution. Check that the enemy had suspended action following.
But I gotta say that the mission was well accomplished.
Excellent job.
Well, I'd like to relax over a coffee now, but it seems that's not possible. What's the report, Ashiria?
We have received contact from the Middle East branch. It appears to be a high crystal response within the vicinity of latitude 18 degrees north and longitude 42 degrees east. It seems to have the same energy response as the previous flight battleship.
In other words, there's been another annoying contamination. Unfortunately, I have to refuse the invitation to tonight's party.
There's a town around the oasis ahead of us, but it appears that there has been much weapon response and it's been completely subdued.
Their attacks seem perfectly efficient. Can it be there's some sort of unified strategy? No, that can't be.
There are no SOS calls from the town. Was everyone able to evacuate?
But all I know is that I have permission to attack them without hesitation.
Why are you always so aggressive, Captain? Is that because you're military man?
Well, I'm not sure myself. What do you think, Ashiria? You're a military woman, right?
You're so mean. Your destruction rate was excellent. I can't believe you did that with just one plane. Raid the valley and proceed without going over the cliff top. Why have you chosen to raid them as if they're humans, Captain?
I won't jump to conclusions yet, but I sense that those crystals have advanced intelligence.
No way! Even if they had any, it could only be simple behavioral patterns like that of insects, right?
You can't rely on the words of scholars. Well, let's just be cautious for now.
Enemy response eliminated. Please maintain your current course.
The enemies will start gathering soon. We gotta rush through.
Bellwether will head later. Exercise caution because I can't support you. Successful entry into the ruins. Raiden is unscathed. It's perfect up to here. The data analysis from Raiden is complete. Huh? What? What are these numbers?
What are you mumbling on about? Hurry up and report.
There's crystal reaction from the cave, but no contamination has been detected from other than the weapons.
So it's a cave surrounded by crystals. Isn't that a promising cave for the future? Man, give me a break.
But to have contamination in a cave? What does this mean?
I guess the cave's being a bit shy.
High energy response. It's deep inside.
Well, we'll have to ask it to come out and play.
The enemy is transforming and the energy level is increasing. Please be extra careful. Enemy deactivated. Watch out for explosions. exit out into the sky. Please make a vertical ascent and evacuate at once.
Excavating for crystals, huh? I think we can assume now that they have intelligence. We'll join you after inspecting the cave. Sorry for keeping you waiting. I'm heading towards the Wind's shipping port. It's a private port, but it also actually carries out repairs and maintenance for BCD.
Bellwether will head there immediately, but please patrol and secure the surrounding airspace before heading towards the scene. A transmission has come in from the cancel. I'm connecting you.
It's been a long time, Captain Maxwell. Why is Bellwether heading toward Windsport?
Ah, Miss Helga Lindberg. What a pleasure to hear from a woman who must be so busy working for the Council.
Thanks for being so considerate. Although I'd be even happier if you didn't increase my workload. Why did you change the course of Bellwether? I'd also like an explanation for the SOS call to the port in the name of VCD.
Well, that's...
Captain, I've confirmed multiple contaminated weapons here at Windsport. What happened this time?
This is not good. Quickly mop up the port enemies, Raiden. Well, I guess duty calls. So...
Yes, do tell me all about it when you have time later.
Captain, you issued an SOS call to the port. Did you know that the enemy would come?
I came up with a hypothesis while retrieving the crystals at the cave, so I made the call just in case.
The port enemy has nearly annihilated. We will continue with their duties, so please take care of the sea enemies. Unscathed. You're incredible. Please carry on with the mission. Emergency contact from Michaud Port Defense Base. It's undergoing a massive attack of contaminated weapons. We're receiving a request for urgent relief.
I knew they'd be appearing there too. Did you hear that, Raiden? Fly northwest from there and you'll arrive in no time. Hurry! We're heading there too.
Seems like you've missed quite a lot of enemies. I know you're tired from all the fighting, but please hurry ahead to Michaud Port. Captain, you mentioned that you knew they'd appear.
Yeah. My hypothesis was unfortunately correct. I thought these crystals might be advanced life forms that could mutually communicate.
They look like jewels, but are actually an intellectual life form?
You see, they were obviously mining those crystals in that cave for a certain reason. I assumed that by us taking away their crystals, they'd come back for revenge.
Well then, why don't you report to the Weapons Development Division and the Council and ask for an analysis?
There will be years of meetings if you ask for help from scientists and politicians. Showing them the results is the quickest way.
Excuse me, but that remark is one that ignored civilian control. Your remark and conduct are worthy of a military tribunal.
Well, in that case, tell them you were forced by the captain.
energy response. The contaminated weapon is... It's coming out from the water. Its arms are opening out. I can't believe this transformation. The enemy is transforming into a walking form. That's amazing.
I've never heard of a weapon this before. Did they actually innovate the weapons they took? Well, anyways, I'm glad we've won. We can't leave the crystals like this. We better head to the French LHC or else we'll be chased forever.
Do you hear me, Raiden? We're being forced by the captain to head towards France after withdrawing.
We don't want to stand out too much on this mission, so we'll fly close above the sea and the ground until we get close to the LHC.
I'm getting responses to contaminated weapons in its land airway. Raiden, I need you to proceed and destroy them. We're getting close to Sidonia Falls. Blend into the waterfall in the sun. I'm sorry for ruining your coffee time, Captain, but there is a transmission.
Oh, Madam Lindworm from the Council. I'm surprised you've already caught on.
It's not the Council. It's from the Weapons Development Division. I will connect you.
It's Lieutenant Captain. Did you forget that we're at war while you're carefree with the coffee? How about paying attention to your role as the captain of Bellwether, a cutting-edge aircraft carrier?
I apologize for worrying you. Bellwether of the Weapons Development Division performs wonderfully. It would really be helpful if you could improve the feel of the seat and the coffee maker as well.
Where do you plan to go on a walk with BCD's precious aircraft?
I'm not obliged to inform you, technical officer.
You think I'm some kind of normal technical officer? Without me, Raiden and Bellwether wouldn't be around. This whole war with the crystals depends on me. I guess it's difficult for someone like you who judges people on ranks to understand.
Oh, I apologize. The transmissions will be temporarily shut off since the ship will be entering a magnetic storm. I will contact you when the line recovers.
Lieutenant Campbell of the Weapons Development Division, huh? I knew the name, but didn't know how annoying he would be.
The enemy destruction speed is great. Please keep up the good work. We will be approaching the LHC facility very soon. I'm getting a contamination response on my radar. Captain, multiple contaminated weapons are invading the LHC facility.
Was it drawn to our crystals? How did they get here before we did? There's no time to wait. Respond to the enemy in the air, Bellwether. Annihilate the enemies that have invaded the LHC facility, Raiden. They've made quite an invasion, and they've done it in an organized formation. Do they have a commanding officer or something?
A commander among the crystals? Very funny.
I was speaking hypothetically, but there's no doubt that there must be some core that's giving orders.
More enemies are approaching the central facility.
Raiden, protect the central facility. Sorry, but we're occupied here. Clean them out? Sorry for being a bad boss, but I need you to help us take out the remaining enemies in the sky.
You've let too many enemies escape. I know it's a tough mission, but please hang in there. Now help us up in the sky.
What in this attack? They just keep appearing. Could it be that they understand war strategies?
A high energy response is approaching the sky above the facility.
So this one's their boss, huh? Don't let it near the LHC facility.
The enemy has arrived in the sky above the LHC. Please don't let them invade any further. The side parts have separated and fallen. Captain, the enemy has invaded into the LHC facility.
Raiden, well done. That was close. You were able to finish it without destroying the LHC facility.
Captain, emergency contact from the deck. Surveillance plane from the fourth story. Message from the second storage's room. The crystals were snatched by somebody.
One problem.
The surveillance plane that stole crystals just now is heading towards the northeastern sea.
The objective is unclear, but recovery is top priority, so hurry and pursue it. Nothing will come by carrying away the crystals. It must have been planned since they penetrated the bellwether and carried them away, right?
A transmission from an unregistered identification code came in. Captain, how should I proceed?
It will cut into the VCV military line, so it may not be unrelated to this matter. Why don't you connect to them?
I am honored that the trump card of mankind has chased us this far. This is Valbarossa Hawkeye. You've heard of me, right?
The H? The pirate Barbarossa was the one who stole the crystals.
I heard that attacking the army was a hobby of yours, but I never knew you were a thief. Are you having trouble making a living?
An incompetent bastard who can't even take care of contaminated weapons is gonna treat me like a thief? Just remember that I'm getting paid a ton to annoy the hell out of you.
Ton of money. Oh, so you mean you can get money for those crystals?
I'm giving you way too much information. You sound pretty innocent, but I guess I shouldn't underestimate you. I'm in a contract and can't say much, so let's just put it this way. The more disputes, the merrier.
What's this? You're involved in crystals? You've been attacking the army for the last few years, but now you're looting crystals?
I don't know. I don't understand what a pirate would be thinking, but it appears that there's somebody behind it.
We are in the optimal state for eliminating the enemy. Please keep it up. Another external transmission of this type? Captain? It's from the Weapons Development Division.
It appears that the crystals have been taken by someone. This is an inexcusable mistake, Captain.
You have sharp ears as usual. We are doing all we can to recover them. If they're hard to regain, we are considering sinking the thieves and the crystals deep into the sea.
There's no way that can be allowed. Those are valuable. Well, more importantly, Bellwether's mission is not to play tag with bandits. You should leave the recovery mission to other squadrons and prepare for battle with the contaminated weapons.
Unfortunately, we don't turn the other cheek. So don't listen to the rumors, Captain, and please return to your important research task. The people doing the desk work are so carefree, even though we're in battle.
You've done a lot to crush a ship. Very childish of you to use fighting thunder on a pirate.
We public officials are gentle on citizens, but it's the VCD's policy to be tough on those who fail to pay their taxes.
I'm also nice to citizens, but hate soldiers. I'm seriously going to battle now. VH wouldn't be famous if it ended with this.
They haven't been bombed at all. Please aim to annihilate the enemy in this condition.
Alright, we're ready. Be it the cherished treasure of mankind or whatever. You come at me and you're my enemy. Sorry, but we're going to destroy you.
It's like the strength of an army. Amazing. The army won't be able to handle VH.
This isn't the time to be moved. Not the contaminated weapons, but we'll also have to be seriously engaged. I'm sure you understand. Don't be careless, Raiden.
You're good, aren't you? Seems that I underestimated the strength of BCD. Guess I've become a bit senile. But I still have a secret weapon. When I turn her on... What? I can't control the weapon. Why is it being contaminated by the crystals?
A high-energy crystal response from the enemy pirate ship. The stolen crystals are mutating into a contaminated state. The crystals are absorbing the power of the pirate ship. The potential of the super high-power weapons is high. Exercise caution. Enemy formation has changed. The energy level is increasing.
Sorry, but it's not over. There's still something else coming up. Moron said he wouldn't contaminate it, but look at this! I suspected something the moment I heard that obnoxious name shift.
The enemy battleship and gigantic weapons.
You know, I would like to talk to you about various things. So can you come to our ship, Sir Valbarasa?
You'll abide by the proper etiquette if you're going to.
Raiden, can you hear me? We shall commence the attack on the enemy facility based on the information we got from VH.
A facility that was supposed to be closed by the Weapons Development Division. This is becoming a real nuisance.
Look, I've told you many times that I was only hired and don't know the details. But I did do my research on my client because stuff like that is important to the pirate.
But I can't believe that it's a weapons development facility that was supposed to be shut down.
no time for thinking. It seems they're ready for battle.
Your response to the enemies is wonderful. This performance is remarkable given that the enemy has state-of-the-art weaponry. An incoming transmission from inside the enemy facility. What on earth is it? I'll put you through.
What is it? There are no contaminated weapons around this area.
Why are you here, Lieutenant Campbell?
What are you doing in a facility that should have been torn down? It appears to be operating from what I can see. This is different from the official record, isn't it?
It was necessary to avoid the eyes of the idiots in the council, you know. They're a bunch of imbeciles who don't understand the importance of the crystal energy research.
I see. So you are breaking the Montevideo Agreement, right?
That agreement is ridiculous. The weapons division has actually already been successful. What do you think provides the energy for fighting Thunder and Bellwether?
That's an intriguing remark.
We needed to break from our bondage to the Council for the future of mankind. SHIFT is an organization formed by scientists with the same ideas. You guys on the front lines know well what it would be like if Raiden weren't here during the battle with the crystals, right?
It would have been tough for sure. The pirate ship hired by the captain has also been contaminated. Crystals aren't something we humans can treat lightly. They're too dangerous.
I thought that the armies would be more useful, but you're being rash as I imagined. What are you trying to do? Do you realize that you're closing the doors of the future of mankind?
That's correct. The danger level from contaminated weapons is something that we know best since we're on the front line. If there's something you want to say to the captain, you should speak it in front of the council.
You stupid commoners who don't understand the righteousness of shift!
The number of enemies destroyed has displayed the highest value. You're amazing!
There are many things created in the back of a facility of this kind to store and transport machinery and the finished weapons. You escape from there.
Raiden, can you hear me? I'll send you the escape routes from within the facility. It's just that the analysis is outdated, so please ascertain the on-site routes in accordance with the situation. Not everything that Lieutenant Campbell had said can be wrong, so it's complicated, isn't it?
We are soldiers. Let's prioritize the performance of duties now, rather than being frustrated.
Raiden is currently entering the underground cargo transport route in the facility.
You should be able to leave if you advance that way. Continue calmly.
That you guys would be escaping from the cargo route. We have the opportunity, so we might as well use the capabilities of the latest weapons we developed.
Be careful, Raiden. Lieutenant Campbell does have first-tier ability.
It appears that he has a gigantic armory. Please exercise caution. first, third plane? This is tough. The number has increased.
That's true. It appears that the number has increased, but you need to calm down.
All the weapons have been destroyed. It was definitely a bomb.
This is an internal squabble, and I'd like to make it the last one at that.
What will happen to Captain Cannon?
That's something for the Council to judge. Let's just focus on the battle that awaits us.
Silva as planned. We will head toward the Strange Space Center after passing through the forest.
Go ahead, Raiden, but watch out for contaminated weapons.
You seem to have safely entered the forest.
I know that it's a secret mission. Can you tell me the target already? I'm just not used to carrying out a mission without knowing what the target is.
All right. I told you that we were able to retrieve a lot of information from the ship facility that you guys destroyed, right? Well, it seems that any information stored on an individual crystal gets collectively shared by all the other crystals.
Is that really possible? How do they do that?
I've heard that even among terrestrial life forms, if an individual learns a new way to hunt, the same method of hunting is suddenly acquired by other individuals all around the world. This may be like the collective unconscious that Jung talked about.
It's hard for me to understand difficult things. So can you explain it more layman's terms?
Simply said, the information that comes into contact with crystals is being leaked to all the contaminated weapons.
I see. So they're making it as unclear as possible as to where they're heading.
That's correct.
Remember, the crystals will share any information among each other, so you can't let them escape. You've got to do better.
Alright. Can you possibly tell us the reason for aiming for the S-Range Space Center?
Well, I'm sorry about this sudden topic, but you'll have to go to outer space.
I see. Excuse me, what did you just say?
I will officially relay the Council mission. Both Bellwether and Fighting Thunder will head toward the planet where the crystals exist and destroy the source of the crystals flying into the Earth. That's it.
Are we heading towards the enemy planet? Where did that utterly reckless strategy come about?
Don't worry. Bellwether and Raiden were both created to be active in outer space. You learned that during the training, right?
That's not the problem. The sudden mission? Will we be able to come back?
This is the official mission to us from the Council, right?
Yes. I'm sorry, Max, about asking you to do this reckless mission. It is the kind of lousy mission that you despise.
That's all right. We are soldiers. You tell us to go somewhere, and whether it is the end of the universe or otherwise, we will accomplish that mission.
Thanks, Max.
booster has detached. Switching to the second booster. We are approaching the acceleration limit momentarily. Please hurry back to Bellwether, Raiden. There's no time. Hurry, Raiden. Break away. In 3, 2, 1. You were able to distract it in such a fast speed. That was just really incredible. I'm calculating the coordinates. Since it was a breakaway to avoid the enemy attack, we seem to have drifted quite far from the arrival point.
What can we do? Head toward the destination point while watching out for the cosmic garbage?
Why do they need weapons in this area?
The equipment for removing the cosmic garbage appears to have been contaminated by the crystals. Before we could realize it, the contamination had spread outside Earth.
I realize that it's really tough with the contaminated weapons, but there's not much time until the warp device will be activated. Please hurry toward the destination.
Is the warp device the Alcubierre drive that was successfully experimented with like around 3 years ago, right? It would create space-time foam based on the contraction and extension of space.
Yeah. The device will be used on the enemy planet. Hurry up, because we can't be late.
Numerous contamination responses have been detected among the debris of the colony. Please be careful when you pass through. We are leaving from the colony area and will be arriving at the destination shortly. Contaminated weapons response from 9 o'clock. What? That's way too big.
I know this one. It's Engel, the space debris retrieval colony. This has been contaminated too.
It's so large, you can't tell, but it appears we haven't crushed it yet.
It's really annoying. Stand firm to the end, Raiden. Got it?
It is silent. The contamination response is disappeared. Target's destroyed.
Gosh. We can say we are fortunate in that they have been destroyed before they would attack the Earth, or the spaceship.
Raiden and Bellwether are coming towards us.
We will somehow be able to make it according to schedule. I wonder if something's waiting for us.
Bellwether has returned to cruising speed. Raiden fighters have been deployed.
So it begins. If we lose this battle, we lose all of VCD's main force. Even if that were not the case. If all the crystals lying dormant on Earth awaken simultaneously...
We'll begin our descent onto the mother planet. Numerous contaminated weapons confirmed in satellite orbit. Proceed with caution.
As expected. However, there's no time to make a detour. We must wipe out any enemy forces that obscure our path as we descend. What an advanced civilization. But could it be that it's the planet itself that is contaminated? This must mean that what we had thought was their mother planet was in fact an already contaminated planet.
Is this the future of Earth? This lifeless planet?
We're here to prevent that from happening. Destroy the enemy.
Yes, sir. Wait, what is this? There's something odd. It appears to be a planet which once sustained life, but The atmosphere seems to consist almost completely of carbon dioxide with some...
Do you really think this is the appropriate time for a science class?
My apologies, but I feel as if I've seen this atmospheric composition ratio somewhere before. Captain, I'm reading an ultra-high energy signal deep beneath the surface. It's unlike anything we've come across before. There's a high probability that this is...
I see. So it's underground. There must be a path leading to it. Extend the range of our radar and search the surface for leaking energy.
Understood. In the area ahead, there's a position of energy leaking from underground. I will deploy all Raiden fighters to that location.
Well done. Did you hear that, Raiden? It looks like we'll have to head underground and destroy them directly. Set course to the objective point immediately.
Raiden has made a successful incursion landing.
Alright. The rest of the Raiden fighters in the Bellwether will support from the air. It will be disadvantageous to fight separately, so gather around the Bellwether and lend each other support.
CO2 at 95.32%, N2 at 2.7%, argon at 1.6%, oxygen at 0.13%. What was it? I can't remember.
Assyria, focus on the battle right now. You can investigate the atmospheric composition to your heart's content afterward.
Yes, I'm sorry. But I've heard of that combination somewhere before, and to encounter it by chance at the end of the universe... With Earth's fate hanging in the balance, the enemy destruction rate is dangerously low. Please rouse yourself to action.
Are they in?
Affirmative. Raiden has breached the gate.
That was way too risky. I'm just glad they're in safely. Remember, folks, we're here to fight, not to get ourselves killed.
Well, it's one thing that civilization is progressing, but all these machines make it boring scenery. Personally, I need a view of the ocean to relax me.
Remember now, Captain. CO2 at 95.13%, N2 at 2.7%, argon at 1.6%, and oxygen at 0.13%. It's Mars! This atmospheric composition is exactly the same as Mars!
Although I fail to see exactly how that is important.
There is water on Earth and none on Mars. That is said to be the reason why there's only life on Earth. But apparently there was water underneath Mars' surface. Why then is there no life on Mars?
Who knows? I'm not a scientist, so I haven't got a clue.
What if it were the opposite? If there was first water, and then life?
If for some reason life disappeared, and the water disappeared, and the oxygen disappeared from the atmosphere, are you saying that was caused by the crystals?
I thought it was odd when we first came to this planet. Regardless of the contamination caused by the crystals, in order to destroy all life form on the planet, it would take too long using weapons.
I see. So what you're suggesting is that the crystals buried on Earth were not meant to contaminate the weapons, but were buried to change the atmosphere itself. Impressive. So you mean you plan to change the planet itself?
But what would be the crystal's motive for doing that? You mean to say they aren't trying to invade Earth?
What an impressive response speed for a first-time battle in outer space. This is a battle worthy of a peace. I don't know that much, but we may have been thinking about this all wrong.
An sight. Assyria, can you analyze the ingredients of the crystals around Raiden?
I'll try. The crystals here are made mostly out of hydrogen and oxygen. In other words, they're close to dense water.
So what's being made here is different than the contaminating crystals after all.
If water is present, then more than half of the CO2 in the atmosphere will dissolve into water. There is a chance that the same thing that happened in the early stages of Earth to create the ocean will occur here.
So, after turning the entire planet into an uninhabitable planet like Mars, in time, he will transform it back into a planet where life can live.
Seriously? So the crystals are trying to reset the planet?
Looks like this was more than a simple matter of a space invasion by an extraterrestrial life.
Can we win to beings who act on a scale like this? These are beings who control planets.
That doesn't mean we can just give up. Besides, I've already planned my schedule for my vacation day.
You're right. It's not good to analyze things more than it's necessary. We're military. All we're required to do is do our best to complete our mission.
Well, that's a production experience. A far outcry from our scientific discussion.
Are they the same civilization, or a different civilization of crystals? Although I'm not entirely sure they even have the concept of civilization.
Captain, the magnetic field surrounding Raiden is turning into something like a storm. At this rate, our communication will be severed.
Raiden, you hear us? Respond! What's going on?
We have lost communication. However, vitals still remain, so it is likely that it's still alive. What exactly are the crystals?
I don't even want to consider cheap answers, like them being the wake-up call, or revenge upon mankind.
Not exactly ready to stop eating, drinking, and being married anytime soon. And there's no way I'm not returning to Earth and seeing the big blue sea again.
There's nothing we can do now. We just have to pray that Raiden returns victorious. Raiden, I don't know if you can hear me, but get back here.
Captain, the surrounding energy signals have all stopped. All enemies who had been engaged with Raiden fighters have stopped moving.